Bing boing bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip. Hey guys, this is Everybody Has a Story to Tell with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Everybody does have a story to tell, but very few people take the time to listen until now. Guys, the Whittakers. So, yeah, I've gotten some good feedback and I've gotten some not good feedback, and that's the way it's going to be. So there are people that are going to believe that Eric did the right thing, and then there are people that are going to believe Eric did the wrong thing. Here's the result of that: the family is no longer together. So, and Eric or Patrick, one of them, I heard the video and we'll watch it, had the gall to say that they would take Timmy. Who the fuck? How would you? What's wrong with you? Timmy has a mother that he adores more than he cares for you. These people they just don't get it. To think after a month or 2 months you could come into a family. This is what I think Eric did. This is going to be popular or not popular. I don't care. This is what I think. This is my opinion. I could be wrong, but it's my opinion. And let me be clear. If I'm wrong, I will come on here and say that I'm wrong, and this is why I'm wrong. But it will be proof that it is proof. You know what I'm saying? It won't be somebody's word. It'll be proof. Their words mean nothing to me. But it's my opinion, and it's just going to be a difference of opinion if somebody doesn't agree with it. Don't need to call anybody names. Don't need to be rude. If you don't like what I'm saying, leave. If you want to have a critical, productive, respectful disagreement with me, we could debate this all day. I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem with what Eric did. Eric came on the scene and trusted somebody right away and wanted everybody to trust this person. That would be Patrick, okay? Because Eric gave Patrick $4,000 of people's money, knowing he had a problem. He already knew. Eric decided, I'm going to give him another shot. That's what he's telling us. But supposedly the guy's been an addict, right? So none of his spidey senses came in, Eric. Like, you didn't see the dope fiend behavior. It wasn't familiar to you. I mean, what is it? Now, guys, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm saying that as a recovering addict, Eric knows what dope fiend behavior is. You can't tell me that Patrick's dope fiend behavior just came about in the last 48 hours. No. Eric knew that Patrick was dealing with issues and he was giving him a pass because he was like, well, he'll change. He's going to change. He has faith in him. But he took other people's money and the Whittakers, if you're looking out for the Whittakers, and gave it to Patrick. Somebody who he already knew had a problem. He didn't know how bad the problem was until later, supposedly, but he decided on himself, just like he decided all this on himself. Or Eric came in with Patrick to do exactly what happened. Okay? So I don't know, but here's what happened. Those two are going to get a lot of money. That family is no longer together. And what Eric did was he played chess. He lost. He threw up the chess set and he ran away. And that's what happened. That's my opinion. That's what happened. He inserted himself in a place that he had no business to. Those people have been living in that home, and it's because of him. He even admitted to calling social services, adult protective services. So why? There's no more house that has to be built now, right? Guys, let's go over some of these videos. I am upset because that family, we might not have liked the way that they lived, but they were living together, and that was their business. So I don't think it's better that they're separated because we don't know if they're separated within them. We don't know if Lorraine is away from Timmy. Nobody really cared or thought about that. It was more important to go after BJ. Who was he to decide that? And make ultimatums. Well, I'll help you with the house, but you got to get rid of your kin. But he went ahead and gave to his friend your guys' money that donated, knowing that he had a problem. Okay? So, yeah. He found out he had more of a problem, but he already knew he had a problem. So, let's get into this. This channel is a different channel that I'm getting this information from, and then we'll get into Eric's video, okay? So this might be a couple videos, but let's get into this guy's video. What I did was I cropped the video so you could see the channel it's coming from. I think it's called The Watson Family.
And I wished Eric hadn't got sucked into this, but he did. You know, he got with Patrick somehow, and Patrick sucked him into helping him out with his channel. And a lot of you were saying that Eric was in it for the money and exploiting the Whittakers.
I don't know this guy. I don't know him. But he was exploiting the Whittakers. Who would go to somebody's place, film them from beginning to end? He filmed them when they were having embarrassing moments. He filmed them when he shamed them. You know, how would you like to be filmed beginning to end, and you're paid for it by a bag of chips or some clothes from Walmart? No offense against Walmart, or a pizza. I'm just asking, because they were his content. They were his complete content. Without them, he had nothing. So it was him that put himself on that family. That's what happened. That's it. If you can't see that, I can't show you any better. Make a big deal out of everything you give them, even if it's a bag of chips or 3 boxes of pizza. You know, when he came and gave Ray that pizza, there's a video of Ray eating a pizza, right?
What is it? Oh, I got you some pizza. You want to eat some? That's yours. I brought that for you. You want to get some? Here. I'll get you some, Ray. Here. There you go, Ray. There you go, buddy.
When I was a waiter, is that
I'm sorry, guys. You don't think that's an acting job? Them both waiting for who's ever taking the video to say go, and then to have Ray do that. You don't see that as an acting job. They're sitting there waiting for that. And he's sitting there saying, oh, yeah, I got you pizza. Yeah, that got 467,000 views, guys. Yeah, he walked away with at least $7,000, guys, on that one video. So the $7 pizza, you do the math. Is that exploitation? Because it was of Ray. It wasn't of Eric. It was of Ray. That video was of Ray entertaining you, or Ray interesting you, or people making fun of Ray. That was of Ray. That wasn't of Eric. And the person that's getting the money isn't Ray. So if they were going to get a house out of something, you don't think that they deserved it? Because they were the content. Let's keep going.
It's not that. If anybody done that, it was Patrick. But anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy was removed yesterday by Adult Protective Services, and they were taken, from what I understand, to the hospital to be evaluated.
I want you to just think about that for a second. Think about Lorraine without Betty. Think about Timmy without Lorraine. Think about Lorraine without Timmy. Think about them trying to calm Ray, because when Ray, we know that Ray can lose his temper and he would have to be sedated. Somebody said something about, you know, he was possibly being sedated with ketamine. You know, if Eric had not, Mark was there. Mark was there taking photos. This didn't happen when Mark was there. It didn't even happen when Tyler went there. It happened because why? Because in his game plan, he wanted BJ out of there. He focused so hard on BJ, he forgot about the rest of them. Now they're collateral damage because of Eric. You guys don't see that? Some of you I know 100% see that. Some of you don't see that because you think it's better. You don't know that it's better that they're in protective services, or because here's the thing, we don't know who works, and there's a lot of elder ABUSE. There's a lot of it. So how do we know? There's nobody there to protect them now. So is that a good idea? If something happens, because I could bet you that Ray unintentionally gets on people's last nerves and he can't communicate. He doesn't understand. So how good was this? Seriously, how good was this? Was it worth it?
And it's sad. I'm sure if you've kept up with Eric's channel and seen what they had been doing with Timmy and working with him, he was making a lot of progress. He really was.
Listen, man, I said the same thing. Look at how much fun Timmy's having. Look at Timmy's everything about him. Everything was new. Everything. He was like a child on Christmas morning. That doesn't mean that somebody was coming around. That just means that somebody was getting something for the first time and their reaction was like a child on Christmas morning. Yeah, he listened. He probably listened at home too, even though we didn't understand what his mom was saying. I mean, what, him picking at his head? I bet you he's picking at his head now, or maybe his hands are restrained. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, guys? What do you think about that, Eric? I mean, I know this isn't Eric, but seriously, maybe now, I mean, come on, what's worse? Who is anybody to decide what is worse here? Honestly, it's opinion, and my opinion was this isn't better because we can't even see what's going on. Like, we don't even know what's going on, but the thought of it is heartbreaking for sure.
But let's cut to the chase. Patrick is a friggin' scumbag. He is 100% not in it for the Whittakers.
Okay. But wasn't that Eric's job to figure it out? He had control over everything, and he was telling us that Patrick's a good guy and all that stuff, remember? He's going to take no accountability here. Nothing. And let's remember, Eric is the one with the Whittaker family channel, I believe. The money is going to Eric, I believe, because Eric said that could pay him back and all of that stuff, right? So if the money's going to Patrick, okay, but I think the money's going to Eric. I don't know whose channel it actually belongs to and whose bank account that big fat check's going into. But who's ever getting the benefits from it, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, Eric was getting the benefit from it as well as Patrick. And, you know, you guys are still making that money. So he hooked you up to a money train that you guys made last for about 2 months at the expense of that family, using them for the content.
I think it was just, if anybody exploited them, it was Patrick. He lives right up the road. But Eric, he put it out there. I'm just going to say he put it out there. And we need to go watch his video. But I'll basically touch base on the high points. Number one, Patrick stole, I think it was $1,200 from somebody's grandma.
And just so you know, Eric knew that. So while they were stealing copper and he was saying bad shit about the ones stealing the copper, yeah, he wasn't telling people about what Patrick did, about stealing from an old lady. And he knew about that. Eric knew about that. A 72-year-old woman. Yep. So, what do you think? You think that's fair? There's no bias there?
And the person Patrick was arguing with over the phone, you know, Patrick made some threats, and he just handed the phone to Eric and said, hey, take care of this. And when Eric got on the phone, the guy's like, well, you know, Patrick stole X amount of dollars from my grandma. And Eric, when he hung up the phone, he asked Patrick, did you do this? And Patrick's like, mm-hmm. Well, you know, at that point, Eric respected him for telling the truth.
Yes, Mr. Watson, I guess it is. I don't mean to be disrespectful. He respected him for telling him the truth, but Eric wasn't forthcoming with the people that were subscribed to the channel and he gave Patrick $4,000. He made a huge deal about somebody stealing copper, knowing that this person that he was working with stole from somebody. So, no. You know, and I don't understand why Mr. Watson doesn't see the hypocrisy in that.
He just could not believe that Patrick had done this, so he started doing a little bit of digging and found out that Patrick has a very extensive criminal record in West Virginia. And when I say extensive, I mean probably an eighth of an inch thick. I mean, page after page after page after page of stuff this man has done.
So when people were saying that in the comments, and he was calling them haters and trolls and blocking them and all that, what do you have to say about that? He wasn't open to people giving him the warning of who Patrick was. What does he say? He still doesn't take the accountability. Still nothing about that, right? No responsibility for that, right? But ready to take on a family that has mental, physical, and every other disability that you could think of. This is the guy for that job, right? Eric, who can't even see who he's working with. Guys, I mean, there's red flags all over this. It might as well be a minefield.
In West Virginia. And it's just how Eric got tied up with him, and he was trying to do good for Timmy. I mean, the Whittakers were that close, literally that close to having a log home paid for by the subscribers on YouTube, the money that he was raising for them.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Because if he was going to do that, and again, the money he was making was off of them. They were the entertainment. Nobody was interested in Eric. Nobody was interested in Patrick. It was the Whittakers. The Whittakers were making money for them. It was give and take. I mean, that's just the truth. That is just the truth. So he doesn't. No, it's like he finds this feral family and decides he's going to take them in. They're not a feral family. They are still people, and he was wrong. And that is called exploitation.
They were so close to having that home. And here they let crackhead BJ come in and live in the camper after she had beat on Ray. And
all of that shit's alleged. All of that is alleged. I mean, Betty says one thing one day and says something else the other day. And Timmy, he actually said that? Or is that what you interpreted? I mean, there's too much gray for it to be so friggin' black and white.
Lorraine and Timmy, and especially Ray getting beat up by BJ's boyfriend, it's a friggin' mess. She's a dirtbag. I mean, if Patrick's a scumbag, BJ's a dirtbag crackhead.
So the answer was, put them out of the house and have BJ go back and live with Larry and Betty. Because that's the way it is now. So was that the answer? If it was all about the Whittakers, why didn't they just build the house for the Whittakers without making it a huge deal? Mark raised over $100,000 and nobody came out from protective services. You could have done the same thing. You chose to do it your way. Look at what happened with your way, Eric. Look at your way. Well done. Well done. You should have stayed home.
But anyway, well, Eric had told you on his videos. Let me tell you what the man did. He was contacted by Patrick, and Patrick asked him if Eric would get him a condo. And
so, guys, I'm going to stop this video here. I already put up something about the condo video, I believe, in my live stream. And I do have another video to break down of Eric talking. So that's the next video to come up on this channel, I believe. Unless somebody sends me something that I find that trumps that. And I didn't mean to use that word like that. Just so you know, guys, not political channel at all. Don't even want to go there. Guys, this is Everybody Has a Story to Tell with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. This is the Whittaker story. What's yours? Thanks. Please like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you. And those that have done memberships and super thanks and super chats and all that, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. And yes, 10% of my Whittaker videos after taxes will go to the Whittakers if they don't have a house, if they are in some sort of shelter or some sort of family setting in a facility, we'll go ahead and use that money, and I'll prove it by getting whatever the facility says that they need. If, God forbid, there's no way of getting in touch with the Whittakers, I'll take that money and we'll donate it to an organization that I'll take a vote on with the subscribers, and I'll show you proof of that after taxes in 2026 for the year 2025. Just like I did this year on the other channel in March. If you check the posts, there were 5 organizations that I donated to. The Whittakers were not one of them at that time. They were not, but they will be this year. Anyway, guys, that channel is Issues with Toddy One Skip. Just so you see that I'm transparent, okay? Thank you, guys. Bing, boing, bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip.